Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar. My name is Pierre Cléroux. I'm the Vice President Research and Chief Economist with the Business Development Bank of Canada, BDC. For the next 30 minutes, we will be sharing the latest economic insights about the economic effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as how to create an online strategy to help mitigate these impacts. I will begin with an economic update looking at the latest data we have for Canada and the world. Sandra Coffey will then talk about the strategic considerations of getting your business online. She will be followed by Lockyer, who will break down the various elements that need to be considered to market and sell online. We know that times are hard for many of you right now. At BDC, we are all mobilized to support you and your company. This webinar is one part of the mobilization. As Canadians are staying home, they are increasingly turning to the web for information to shop or other needs. We hope that today's presentation will help you transform your business to adapt these changing environment. Before we begin, I want to mention that we will not be going into details about BDC financing. All the details related to our loan programs can be found online at bdc.ca/coronavirus. Another housekeeping note, because we are pre-recording this webinar, we will not be able to field questions. The presentation will be sent to you in the follow-up email. So let's get started. So the presentation has three parts. First, I'm going to talk about the economic update. Second, we'll talk about establishing an online strategy. Finally, we'll talk about getting your business online quickly. So first, the economic outlook. The world economy is actually in recession. For the first time since 2009, we're going to have a decline in the economy in 2020. And this is having an impact on commodity prices in general, but especially on the oil price. As you can see from the slide, the oil price has really been declining since the beginning of this crisis. And the main reason for that is the world demand. Before the crisis, the demand for oil was 100 million barrels a day. Now it's close to 65 million barrels a day. So the demand dropped by 35%. That's the reason why the price is so low. So the price is going to come back as economies around the world are going to open. But unfortunately, this is going to take time. It's going to take time before the full recovery, and also there's so much oil around the world that it's going to take time for the oil price to go back to the pre-crisis level. So the impact on many economies is really important, and this is also true for the U.S. economy, our number one trade partner. More than 26 million Americans lost their jobs since the beginning of this crisis. This is really a record, much bigger than what we saw in 2009. Of course, those two recessions are different, and many Americans are going to recover their job in the next few months. But nevertheless, the shock is really important. The good news is many countries are starting to reopen their economy. In the month of March and April, China, Australia, Spain, and Denmark have been reopening their economy with success. And in the month of May, we're going to see Italy, France, the US, and probably Canada to reopen their economy. So despite the fact that the impact so far has been really, really strong, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel as many countries are reopening their economy. For Canada, well, the shock is really important. The GDP dropped by 9% in March, which is very, very significant, and we expect to see a major drop in the month of April. The shock has been important for businesses. According to our own research, 90% of small business in Canada have experienced a negative impact since the beginning of the crisis. The most important reason is because of the lack of demand. So many businesses are closed right now because of the lockdown. So that's really the biggest impact that we see. The impact is not important only for businesses, but also for Canadians. More than 1 million Canadians lost their jobs so far during the crisis, and as a result, the unemployment rate now is 7.8%. As a result, the Canadian dollar has been declining as well. The dollar is 71 cents now. It was 75 cents before the crisis. We believe the dollar is going to remain lower for a while. There's a strong correlation between the Canadian dollar and the oil price. As the oil price is going to improve, the dollar will improve. But this is going to take some time. So for the next 6 months, we believe that the Canadian dollar is going to remain low. So in response to this crisis, the Bank of Canada have lowered interest rate to almost zero. And also governments have been reacting very, very strongly. The federal government has spent more than $280 billion to help Canadians and Canadian businesses. Provincial governments are also spending money. So in total, it's more than $300 billion that are going to be spent in the Canadian economy. So these programs are going to help not only Canadians and Canadian businesses, but this is also going to help the recovery. So as a result, we believe that the economy is going to recover by the end of the year. So if you look on the right side of the graph, you can see our forecast per quarter. So we see a very severe drop in the second quarter of the year. That's exactly where we are now as the Canadian economy is locked down. As many provinces are going to reopen the economy in the next few weeks, we believe the recovery is going to start in the third quarter and accelerate by the end of the year. Nevertheless, for the overall 2020, the Canadian economy is going to be in recession with a drop of almost 6% of the GDP. We believe that growth is going to be happening in 2021, and we expect that the Canadian economy to be back to the pre-crisis level by mid-2021 or the end of 2021. So the last part of my presentation is about the road to recovery. How are we going to recover after this crisis? So when we look at other countries who have been through this crisis before Canada, we can see this kind of a common scenario for the recovery. First, countries are opening the construction and the manufacturing sector where physical distancing is easier. Then schools are opening. After that, most countries are opening small retailers where you can have just a small number of clients at the same time. Large retailers will be open after that. And finally, at the end of this process, the tourism industry and larger events are also open. This entire process can take more than a month, sometimes up to 2 months. But basically, this is how the recovery is going to look like in Canada. As for the success, well, when we look at China, it was the first country to go through this crisis and also the first country to reopen its economy. We can see that some sectors are recovering faster than others. For example, the manufacturing sector is back to normal now, but it takes more time on the service sector. And the reason is consumer seems to be a bit more cautious after the crisis. They're more cautious about their health, but also more cautious about their financial needs. Finally, something that we have seen in Canada and other countries is during this crisis, e-commerce has been really increasing. As you can see from these numbers, for example, the online sales in the food and restaurant industry has increased by 194%. And that's the case also in other sectors like clothing or appliances. So we believe that not only online shopping is really increasing strongly during the crisis, but this is going to be the case after the crisis as well. That's the reason why we want to talk to you about the best strategy to improve your online business. So I will let Sandra talk to you about that.
Thank you, Pierre, for the economic overview. My name is Sandra Coffey, and I'm a business advisor in the strategic planning practice of BDC Advisory Services. From all of us here at BDC, we would like to send you words of encouragement. We can see how difficult the crisis has been on your businesses as we talk to many of you every day. With this webinar, as well as other initiatives we are planning, we hope to support you through these very difficult times. With your needs in mind, the remainder of this webinar is focused on giving you concrete advice for planning, developing, and enhancing your online sales capability. So what are the implications of these trends that we have seen on Canadian businesses? The immediate impact of COVID-19 has been swift and difficult, forcing companies to adopt new ways of doing business. Employees are working from home. Essential services are implementing new operating procedures to ensure a safe workplace, and consumers have put e-commerce websites to the test with a surge in online orders. Many believe that these new behaviors will persist beyond COVID-19 and that this will become the new normal. Those who plan now and adapt to this new business reality will emerge stronger in the recovery. We feel that it is critical for business owners to address these changes as early as possible. There are three main considerations for planning your online sales strategy. First, you must fully understand how online sales currently work in your industry, as well as how going online will impact your business partners and competitors. Second, you will need to adapt your business to online sales by building new capabilities. And third, you need to define your goals and the actions you and your team will take to achieve them. Observing and understanding market leaders and your direct competitors is important to identify best practices and see how competitors are positioned. For example, if you are a sports shoe retailer, you will go to altitudesports.com, decathlon.ca, footlocker.ca, and others. You will see how they brand themselves. Who are their target customers? What are their online promotions and their key website features? So what can you learn from these companies? How can you stand out? The next step is to understand your customers. Who are they in terms of age, interests, and preferences? Why do they buy online? What features do they want from a website? You already have customer data from your existing website and your offline activities. This is a great place to start. For example, a spa retailer of exclusive beauty products might find that younger women aged 25 to 34 have a higher tendency to buy online, while women aged 45 to 54 prefer buying in-store. This information will then allow them to improve their website and online marketing to, in turn, drive increased sales. Your business relationships with various partners will potentially be impacted by your online sales initiative, so you'll have to review each one. Key elements will be how dependent you are on each partner and the amount of value added each brings to the relationship. One of the key issues for distributors and retailers is that manufacturers are increasingly looking to bypass their distribution network and go straight to customers with online sales. If you are in one of these sectors, you need to ensure you are adding value, such as advice and expertise, installation services, or inventory management, in order to maintain your relevance in this direct from the manufacturer online trend. For online sales, there are three main areas where you need to develop internal capabilities to make informed decisions and manage suppliers. First, as you assess the different options to build and maintain your transactional website, you will need to understand the business and technology implications of e-commerce marketplaces and platforms. Second, your digital marketing programs will be driven by your customer knowledge. While marketing basics do not change, setting up the technology to capture and analyze customer data will be key. Third, successful online sales depend on reliable and quick shipping, easy returns, and inventory availability. You will need to acquire capabilities and systems or outsource in the areas of fulfillment, shipping, and inventory management. To help your team through the changes brought on by online sales, you must communicate to ensure the project is well understood, involve employees in the change, and support all employees with training for their new or modified roles. Building a digital mindset is also key to your online sales initiative because all employees will need new digital skills related to the systems and technology that the website, digital marketing, and the new logistics will bring to your business. Launching online sales is a large project that requires adapting to new ways of doing business. Listening regularly to your customers, employees, and business partners, and making changes as you go are necessary for this transformation. Once you have done your background work, you will need to create financial projections to assess the profitability of your online sales project and set financial objectives. We suggest that you build a budget over a 3-year period. We've put up a very basic example with made-up numbers on this slide, just to give you an idea. To forecast sales, start with the percentage of sales done online in your industry. Adjust the rate for your company's circumstances. Also, take into account that you will ramp up sales over time. Finally, get estimates of setup and operating costs from potential website, marketing, and logistics suppliers. Create an optimistic and a pessimistic sales scenario and determine what level of sales you need to break even. Build these scenarios and set sales targets with your team. If your business case is positive and you think you can turn a profit, you may now proceed to build your action plan. We have 4 tips that will be helpful to you here. First, involve your whole management team and any key employees that you think can be good contributors. More heads are better than one. Review and share all previous analysis with them so they can fully contribute. Next, define specific goals for the project with your team. What do you want to achieve and by when? What is your vision of a successful online launch? Make the action plan as specific as possible and assign ownership and deadlines for each item. Prioritize actions so efforts can be focused on a few key deliverables at a time. Finally, communicate the plan to all employees and update them regularly. Hold follow-up meetings at least weekly to exchange on progress. Now let's talk about what all of this has meant for Hector Larrivé, a Quebec distributor of food for hotels and restaurants whose sales dropped by 75% at the beginning of the crisis. The company's management team quickly put in place a 3-part action plan. First, they donated their excess inventory to local food banks. Second, they used their drivers and trucks to become a third-party logistics supplier. And lastly, they began selling direct to consumers, something they had never done before. Within a week, the company launched an e-commerce platform where the general public could order produce online and safely pick up from their warehouse. Shortly after, they added delivery in response to a surge in customer demand, saving many jobs and allowing them to keep going during the crisis. A very uplifting success story. With this, I will now hand off the presentation to Tyler Lockyer, who will go more in depth on online sales and marketing.
Thank you, Sandra. I think that client story really drives home that for many businesses, getting online can be done very quickly and without too much investment. The remainder of this webinar will focus on concrete tactics you can start thinking about right away to get your business online. The second part of my presentation will include ways in which you can begin planning an e-commerce model if you aren't already. Let's start by defining what we mean when we say online presence. As you can see, there's much more to getting online than just building a website and hoping people find it. Your website is just one piece of a puzzle that will allow customers to find, evaluate, buy from, and then stay in contact with you online. For a fully functioning online business, consumers need to have a smooth experience at each touch point, whether it be on your website, social media, or mobile application. The trick to success is to use these tools in the right way at the right time. For most businesses, the key building block of your online strategy will be a website that attracts users and converts them into customers. First, we will discuss design strategy. Your page design should be clean and focused with only relevant content and functionality to help complete your customer's journey. This design interface should be helpful and not a hindrance, and consider multiple platforms and devices, and the ways in which your customers like to shop. Remove any unnecessary barriers in their journey. Next, it is important to consider your website's content. The key here is to understand your customer's online experience and the content that they need to make a purchase decision. Information must be short and efficient. For longer form content, consider blogs as they can contribute significantly to your position in search results pages. Always consider search. In many cases, a potential customer's journey begins with a search engine. When a web user is searching for information, a product, or a service, your website should appear near the top, ideally in the first position. Optimizing your website for search will allow your website to appear in the top of the search results pages. Another way to come out on top of search results is with the use of search ads, also known as paid search or SEM, when you pay specifically to stand out in the search results. When considering a search strategy, always consider what keywords your customers might be using to find you. After you have optimized your website for search and customer experience, you'll then be ready to start promoting it. We've already briefly touched on search engine optimization. Search represents the largest part of website traffic for most companies. Social media and email marketing can also be strong contributors. These tools will work to improve your business's public profile, whether you're selling online or not, and they will efficiently contribute to your SEO. When thinking about an email marketing program, think of who your customers are, group them by defining characteristics, and send different types of emails to each group or segment. Also think about future emails as a sequence of communications. For instance, your first welcome email could introduce your suite of products and services, and your follow-up email could feature one or two products or services in more detail with a buy now call to action. It is also important to consider your current customer base and treat those differently than email recipients who aren't yet customers. Similarly, it is important to think about communication sequencing in your social media platforms by creating a calendar of content that is relevant based on how your potential customers use each platform. And remember, make sure that you are capturing the right metrics in your measurement plans for all of these programs. This brings us to measurement and planning. The beauty of online business is that you can very quickly see whether your actions are working or not. Once you start getting traffic to your site and social media, it is important to set goals for your online marketing efforts and then measure how you're doing using analytics. You'll be able to use what you've learned to refine your web presence. It's best to start small and focus on simple incremental changes. Use data to find out what's working and what isn't on your website, social media, and email marketing programs, then adjust to improve your results. The basic online marketing suggestions we've discussed will work to drive traffic to your site whether or not you're running an e-commerce business. For those of you who are interested in learning about developing a complete e-commerce business and the infrastructure that goes with it, we are now going to look at how you might go about developing a transformative model for your business. There are several things to consider when thinking about expanding your business online. Here you will see that we've highlighted a few of the key elements that need to be considered before you begin to transform your business for e-commerce. From what products could or would sell online and at what price point, to all of the back office functions and processes that will now need to be in place for your business. Many of these are going to be new concerns for those of you who haven't traditionally done business online. To enable this thinking, we are going to use the Business Model Canvas, or BMC. The BMC is a tool we often use with our clients to help walk them through the different aspects of their business that will need to transform to move the sales transaction online. I'm going to walk you through how you can use this tool to examine, scrutinize, and understand all aspects of your business in the context of e-commerce. By filling out each building block, you will begin to see what type of transformation will be required for you to move your business online. In the first building block, we are going to look at customer segmentation. It is important to identify who your key customers are and segment them by defining characteristics, such as value and margin, online shopping and purchase behavior, products of interest, line of business. Then go a step deeper and understand what makes them unique. Consider the content that they might be interested in shopping for a product or service online, what products they might be purchasing, and how they like to shop, including the devices they may use in order to complete their shopping journey. For instance, you might create a high-value commercial segment for your B2B customers who have an average order value of over $10,000 and is unique to a certain product line. Think about that group of customers and ask yourself, what unique shopping and purchase experiences do they require? Once you understand the trends that set your highest valued customers apart from your lowest value, you'll be in a better position to develop specific strategies to grow each segment in a unique way that satisfies their needs. Here we ask, who are our most valuable customers and how do they shop online? And so we will add our key considerations to building block 1. Once you have understood your existing customers and the new customers you'd like to attract, you can now work to organize your online business by capturing each segment's specific needs and wants. Different segments may even view the same product or service in different ways. The ways in which your company provides value to each segment is understood as the value proposition. It is important to consider your value proposition by each segment so that you can begin to tailor their shopping and customer experiences on your new e-commerce website accordingly. Consider the content and information that is required for each segment and ensure that it is a key part of their shopping experience. If one of the benefits of your products is most suited to your high-valued customer segments, make sure that this appears as top information and content. As such, make sure that your product catalog is structured based on your key segment's interests. Here we ask, what makes our products or services special? Is our value proposition currently identified in our content and shopping experiences? What are the unique benefits of dealing with our company? Next, we will discuss building block 3, channels. It is important to consider how you can and will deliver your products or services to market. Where will people purchase from my company? The focus of this part of the webinar is e-commerce adoption. So here we will use this building block to identify your e-commerce platform as a primary channel to deliver your products or services. However, as a supplement to your own e-commerce platform, you might also consider social media marketplaces, affiliate marketplaces, or other open e-commerce marketplaces in order to reach your potential customers. We will discuss this again when we talk about revenue streams. Building block 4, customer relationships. As you launch and optimize your online business, it'll be crucial to understand the types of relationships you will foster with your customers. What does loyalty look like for your business? What specific programs will need to be in place in order to support this? One example of this is the use of customer service tools such as live chat. This could be a crucial tool in order to deliver good customer service. We previously discussed digital marketing tactics such as social media and email marketing as ways to reach your potential customers. It is important to define your digital marketing mix within the canvas in order to understand how customer acquisition fits in with your entire e-commerce strategy. Consider how your customers shop, what their behaviors are, and find them where they are. B2B businesses, for example, might be more interested in LinkedIn as a primary social media platform to activate. But don't discount typical B2B tactics. Even CEOs spend time on Facebook. It's worth trying out various tactics to see what really works for your business. Here we ask, what digital marketing tactics will we use to drive customers to our new e-commerce website? What online tools will we use for customer service? Building block 5, revenue streams. The foundation of your store will be your e-commerce platform. This will act as a channel to drive sales for your business. In addition to your own e-commerce platform, you might also consider connecting and selling on open marketplaces such as Amazon, eBay, or even social media marketplaces as a supplement to your website. Do you have an offline business that is still able to thrive in this crisis? now is the time to consider what an omni-channel business and customer experience looks like. Here we ask, in addition to our new e-commerce website, what other revenue streams can we build online? Building block 6, key resources. If you are new to operating an e-commerce business, there are going to be several new considerations for you. Your website operations or web ops will now become more of a focus and priority in order to properly run the business. At a minimum, you will need to consider whether you have people to work on order fulfillment, customer service, digital marketing, the e-commerce platform and website itself and the resources it takes to make that platform function, as well as overall e-business operations, including all of the new processes and systems that will be required. Here we ask, what new resources are required to run my business online? Building block 7, key activities. It is inevitable that there are going to be several new functions of your online business that are maybe unfamiliar to you if you're running primarily an offline business. Understanding and defining what the functions and processes are for your new e-commerce business is therefore essential. Key considerations include inventory management and warehouse management, depending on scale, customer service, online marketing, including content and product marketing, order fulfillment, systems administration and integrations, analytics. It is important to learn from data and use it to continually improve. Here we ask, what new processes will I need to add and what existing business processes will change? Building block 8, key partners. Building block 8 is where we consider the new partners you're going to be adding to your business. The foundation of your new e-commerce business will of course be your website platform and technology stack, but we urge you to consider ways in which existing suppliers and partners may change. As an example, demand planning and warehousing may be a different and new requirement with the move to online sales. Sending single items can be vastly different than preparing truckloads. Considering the following key partners: a website platform vendor. Which technology are you going to invest in and who will be your vendor or partner? Can they scale with you? Shipping partner. Crucial to fulfilling orders will be the need to align your business with a dependable and affordable shipping supplier who can manage your demand and not be a barrier to sale or margin. Warehousing. Depending on your scale, it is possible that your current storeroom will not fit your new online demand. Marketing partners to drive traffic, of course. Current suppliers. This may not change with your move to e-commerce, but it is important to consider the impact. Here we ask, what new partners will I need to add for my new e-commerce business model? Which existing partners are all ready for e-commerce? And the final building block 9, cost structure. Just as there will be new partner systems and processes, what comes with it will be new expenses and costs. It is important to consider all of the new recurring costs that will be added to your business. Things like license fees, new types of employees and salaries, and new service fees to consider, shipping costs, transaction fees, etc. Think about all new types of expenses: fulfillment staff and shipping fees, costs of running an e-commerce website and platform license fees, transactional fees. Here we ask, with new partners, resources, and processes, what will my new business expenses be? Now that you understand how to approach designing your new e-commerce business model using the business model canvas, the next consideration will be exactly how and when you will go to market. And so we will leave you with some final thoughts. Work through each building block as discussed, and you will be well on your way to launching your new online business. Ask yourself, which products do you want to sell, both from a demand and margin perspective? What does growth look like and how will you scale? Which technology is right for you to invest in, choosing a technology that is well supported and scalable? And finally, never stop optimizing. The key to online success is to take small steps, test, and carefully monitor your results. Learn from what doesn't work and continually fine-tune your efforts as you scale up. If you want to get your hands on a printable business model canvas, as well as other tools to help you get through the current crisis, I invite you to visit bdc.ca/COVID-19TK. We've created a toolkit full of templates you can use to rethink your strategy, help manage your cash flow, and make changes to your operations. You can also visit our information hub for entrepreneurs affected by the crisis at bdc.ca/coronavirus. We will be updating the site regularly with tools, more details about our financing solutions, and additional measures to help you. Finally, I would invite you all to visit canada.ca/coronavirus for more details on the various Government of Canada support programs that have been put in place for entrepreneurs. We understand it's not an easy time to be an entrepreneur, but please know that you are not alone. While you focus on the health of your loved ones and of your employees, the health of your business remains our top priority. As Canada's Bank for Entrepreneurs, we not only want to help your business get through this, but also to emerge stronger. We hope this webinar will help you to manage your business through to better times, and contact us if you think we can provide further support. BDC is your ally as you weather this storm. Thank you.